What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Legitical Response, and folks, we've got some breaking news for you. A lot of people called it. They predicted this would come true, and I was kind of right there with them, like, yeah, but I didn't want to really say anything because I wasn't sure. Because Joe Biden kept on saying, I'm going to stay in the race. I'm going to stay in the race. But check this out, y'all. Biden drops out of the 2024 race after disastrous debate, inflamed age concerns, and he endorses Harris. Oh, lovely. Here we go, y'all. President Joe Biden dropped out of the 2024 race for the White House on Sunday, ending his bid for re-election following a disastrous debate with Donald Trump that raised doubts about his fitness for office just 4 months before the election. The decision comes after escalating pressure from Biden's Democratic allies to step aside following the June 27th debate, in which the 81-year-old president trailed off, often gave nonsensical answers, and failed to call out the former president's many falsehoods. Biden endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris to take on Trump and encouraged his party to unite behind her. Good luck with that. Biden plans to serve out the remainder of his term in office, which ends at noon Eastern Standard Time on January 20th, 2025. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president, and while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term, Biden wrote in a letter posted to his X account. Today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala Harris to be the nominee of our party this year, he said in another post on X. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Donald Trump. Yes, we got the orange man bad, y'all. Biden's decision came after he has been isolating at his Delaware beach house after being diagnosed with COVID-19 last week, huddling with a shrinking circle of close confidants and family members about his political future. Biden said he would address the nation later this week to provide detail about his decision. The White House confirmed the authenticity of the letter. The announcement is the latest jolt to a campaign for the White House that both political parties see as the most consequential election in generations, coming just days after the attempted assassination of Trump at a Pennsylvania rally. A party's presumptive presidential nominee has never stepped out of the race so close to the election. The closest parallel would be President Lyndon Johnson, who, besieged by the Vietnam War, announced in March 1968 that he would not seek another term. Now, Democrats have to urgently try to bring coherence to the nominating process in a matter of weeks and persuade voters in a stunningly short amount of time that their nominee can handle the job and beat Trump. And for his part, Trump must shift his focus to a new opponent after years of training his attention on Biden. Democrat officials, including many who were behind the effort to push Biden from the race, quickly released statements praising Biden's decision. Oh, you're going to love this. His decision, of course, was not easy, but he once again put his country, his party, and our future first. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Joe, today shows you are a true patriot and great American. I disagree with that. Sure, that's good of him to bow out, right? Great job, Joe. You just threw away democracy. All the voters voted for you. You should have dropped out long before this. You should have dropped out. You should have never started a re-election campaign in the first place. Millions of Democrat voters went out and voted for Joe Biden in the primary. And Joe Biden knew he wasn't going to get reelected. He knew he wasn't going to stay in this race. And this is coming from the party that is constantly, we must defend democracy, folks. And now you're going to leave it up to a few Democratic elites to pick your nominee instead of the voters. Yeah, that's your idea of democracy, Joe Biden? The lies are on display and are insane. In 2020, Biden pitched himself as a transitional figure who wanted to be a bridge to a new generation of leaders. But once he secured the job he spent decades struggling to attain, he was reluctant to part with it. That is right. Biden once asked whether any other Democrats could beat Trump. Probably 50 of them, Biden replied. No, I'm not the only one who can defeat him, but I will defeat him. Biden is already the country's oldest president and had insisted repeatedly that he was up for the challenge of another campaign and another term, telling voters all they had to do was watch me. Well, watch him, y'all.
That Senator Mark Warner is assembling a group of senators together to try and convince you to stand down because they don't think you can win.
Well, Mark is a good man. We've never had that. He also tried to get the nomination too. Mark and I have a different perspective. I respect him.
And if Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and Nancy Pelosi come down and say, we're worried that if you stay in the race, we're going to lose the House and the Senate, how will you respond?
I go into detail with them. I've spoken to all of them in detail, including Jim Clyburn. Every one of them. They all said I should stay in the race. Stay in the race. None of the people said I should leave.
But if they do?
Well, it's like, they're not going to do that.
You sure?
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Look, I mean, if the Lord Almighty came down and said, Joe, get out of the race, I get out of the race, the Lord Almighty's not coming down.
And once again, this is what Democrats are. This shows you the true nature of the Democrat politician. And honestly, a lot of Republican politicians. Not all of them, but most of them. Most politicians in general. You got a couple of Democrats that this doesn't ring true for. But most politicians, I would say about 95% of politicians, they're put their ego before the country. And that's what Joe Biden has done. He's a career politician, so we know he doesn't care about the country. He's going to get out there in front of people on national news and tell people he cares about democracy and he cares about all this other BS that he really doesn't care about. He put his ego in front of the country and it shows. And just because he's dropping out of the race doesn't mean he's a patriot. Doesn't mean he's putting the country first. No, when you got everybody in your party is telling you to drop out and you're 81 years old and you can barely walk, you can barely talk. Yeah. I think he just finally was like, okay, shut up. I'll do it. It wasn't that he's putting the country first. You can kiss my ass on that one. That's outright BS. Don't give me that crap. But that doesn't stop other Democrats because they got to put their ego first, y'all. That doesn't stop Republicans either out there, John Broker. Yes, Republicans are bad too. You want me to say that? Yeah, Republicans are bad too, John. There you go. How about that? You love that? I'm sorry, man. I'm just kidding. But, Republicans are bad, to be honest with you. But it's most politicians, like I said. They just don't care about the country. You can look at politicians and just see how they vote, how they act. You see who really cares about the country. Right? You got people like Chip Roy, Matt Gaetz, Thomas Massie, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Anna Paulina Luna. These people, Byron Donalds. These people care about the country, and you can tell. You can look at their voting record and see exactly where their loyalties lie. Most congressmen, most senators don't care. Don't care at all. They vote in the interest of the lobby because the lobby's the one that's making them the money, right? The lobby is the one that puts them in good standing. Which I've talked about that at length before. I think that's one of the most corrupt systems in this country. The lobby interests. It's outright BS. It is outright just BS. And I think I'll go into that in another video. I talk about it a lot, but I never go deeply off into it. But I think I'll do that in another video one day. But I think that's all I got for this one. I just wanted to put out this breaking news right quick, let you guys know in case you haven't heard. But that's all I got for this one. Let me know what you think about who is going to replace Joe Biden. Is it going to be Kamala? Interesting. I know he's endorsing Kamala, but yeah, she's not very popular either, so they still have a Kamala problem. Let me know what you think. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and y'all try to have a good day and stay legitical. Peace.